trái chín. Sorry.
بسم الله. Let's start إن شاء الله. بسم الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أفضل المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي وبعد. As we continue through the historical journey of the events that happened in one of the darkest years of Islam, we're at the year of 617 Hijri, roughly 1217. You know, I would like. How long ago is that? 800 plus, right? So about 8 centuries ago. This is when this was happening, right? Right. And again, just a reminder, I know the very first few lectures is more on the negative side, right? So hang in because yes, it does turn into positive and great positive, inshallah, right? But just be patient. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ, as Allah said. Those are the days of Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exchange things between people, right? Things, nothing lasts. Nations go up, nations go down, like the waves of the sea, right? It's cycles, it's cyclic, right? Right, here. So as we continue, we saw what happened with the city of Bukhara, we saw what happened with the city of Samarkand, right? While all this is happening, the question I'm going to ask you, where is Muhammad ibn Khawarizm himself? You know, the ruler. He wasn't in Bukhara, he wasn't in Samarkand. He was in his capital, Urganda, or Urganch as they call it today, right? He was in that city with his soldiers, and his strategy was what? I'll keep supplying each city with soldiers, and each one stands by himself. The reason this didn't work, this method allowed Genghis Khan to do what? Single Muslims one by one. The idea that I can take you one at a time. This is why this was not, from a strategic perspective, the best method of defense against the Mongols, right? But in any case, after the fall of Samarkand, Genghis Khan, which was there himself, and he had his 4 children with him, right? He gave an order, it's time to take over. So he started dividing. Some of his children go to Fergana, some others go to the city of Balkh. But he got 20,000 of his top soldiers, right? And under the command of, you don't have to remember the name, but he's very famous, Sabutai and Jebi, 2 of the leaders of Genghis Khan, right? 20,000, it's not a big number relative to Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, but he tasked them with one thing. What was it? He said, you have one mission. Your mission is not to take any city. It's not what concerns you. Your mission is bring Muhammad ibn Khawarizm in front of me. Get him even if he's hanging and hiding in the clouds. So your mission is find him. That's it. And he assigned them this mission and unleashed them. So those 20,000, again, compared to Khawarizm, it's not that much. And they started, okay, where is Muhammad ibn Khawarizm? Well, he's in the city of Urganda. So those 20,000 started doing what? We're heading for him. You would imagine 20,000 is, what are you going to do? It's like you're heading inside the cities of the Muslims, but there's no line of, supplies to you. It's a suicidal mission, kind of, right? But they were so dedicated and they executed. Now, what happened is Muhammad ibn Khawarizm he learned that Genghis Khan now is sending for him. So he decides to leave the city of Urganda and goes to the city of Naisapur. Started running away basically from one city to the other. And Sabutai, those 20,000, they arrive at the city of Urganda. They're not interested in taking the city, right? So Muhammad ibn Khawarizm is not there. Where did he go? Well, the city of Naisapur. They leave and they start heading towards the city of Naisapur. And you can see now it's a chase. And subhanAllah, which is again very strange, Muhammad ibn Khawarizm is on the run. The king, the ruler, the Shah, Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, Shah is the king, right? Of Khawarizm, this big, state, is running from 20,000. And he escapes to Naisapur, they follow him. And then he starts leaving Naisapur and just going more to Iran. And after him, Sabutai, he's not interested in acquiring the city. You see, his mission is what? Muhammad ibn Khawarizm. I'm not going to resist. And a chase starts happening. And the chase, Muhammad ibn Khawarizm starts leaving a city after the other. Naisapur, Herat, Rai, back and forth, and the Mongols are after him. They are not stopping. And there is also an element here of, for me, it's very surprising. This task force, deep into the this is all Muslims. There are 20,000. If the people in the area were they will eliminate them. Why do you think nobody did anything to them? They would arrive at a city like Herat, and we're after Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, and the Muslims will be, okay, what do you want? Cater to them and they leave. What's going on here? What dynamic do you see? They already won, because the Muslims are doing what? As long you're not here for me, right? I'm safe. And they did. Why did the Muslims not attack them? Because we can say, hey, there are 20,000. We can get rid of them. If you attack those 20,000, what will Genghis Khan do to you? You get the psychological warfare. Touch me, and he will know. And then his 100,000 will be at your city's door. So what do? If I'm telling you I'm not here for your city, I just need some supplies, and tell me where Muhammad ibn Khawarizm is. So people started to do what? Let them be. Let them be. You see what's going on? Nobody is attacking them. And they are roaming freely deep into Muslim territory by themselves. Right? So this is now going on while the other armies of Genghis Khan, one is heading to the city of Khawarizm, the other is heading towards the city of Balkh. Right? But what happened with Muhammad ibn Khawarizm? He starts running, and they are not stopping. This 20,000, they after him. So eventually, he goes, this is the Caspian Sea, right? Bahr Qazwin. And he goes and he finds a boat. And he rides that boat and takes it within the Caspian Sea, finds a small island, somewhere in the sea, and just resides there. And they describe that the Mongols were so much on his tail that while he was riding the boat, they started throwing arrows. But then he rides the boat, goes into the sea, disappears. Now, what happened? And then you see that this is a king, this is a ruler. He goes into a city in this small island with a small fort, lives in that small fort in extreme poverty, only one dress and a bed, right? And subhanAllah, what a lesson. He's escaping from death. Guess what? Few weeks later, he dies. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. The big difference between you can't escape death, but I wish you died in the battlefield. I wish you died an honorable death, right? And Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, we'll discuss it here, like it's a very interesting character. What happened? You at one point remember how he was speaking to Genghis Khan and how he was like, where is all this? What happened? You're afraid from 20,000. And you still have forces, you can still make a resistance. You still have Iran, you still have there's a lot of, what's going on? Why are you so defeated? But he decides to run, escaping with his life in an island, only to die by himself in an island a few weeks later. And what a lesson. That no matter how much we run from the decrees of Allah, we're going to die anyway. But the big difference between somebody who's dying on the truth and somebody who will die, but after trading off. Right? And that was a big lesson. Now, what happens is, interestingly enough, before that, let's discuss Muhammad ibn Khawarizm a little bit, right, before I go to the next line of events. Right? So the biography of Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, when you look to Ibn Athir and they discuss him, it's very interesting. They describe a righteous man. So they say, he was patient, hard working on the deeds of those seeking Allah. He slept little, endured great fatigue, and served his companions. He was generous, neither indulging in the comfort or finding pleasure in the comforts of this life. His clothes and his horse equipment did not amount to 1 dinar. Basically, he was not, he's not the type of the king where jewelry and he was very simple. The things he was not into the materialistic life at all. Right? So it looks like this is a zayd, mashallah, right? Good. All those are positive descriptions. His main passion was driven by matters of ruling and kingship. He was interested in one thing: power, rule, status, authority. Not money and wealth and gold and silver, that doesn't mind. He doesn't mind that. But he cares about what? Power. And by the way, this is actually very interesting. Many men, they want money because money brings power and status. So it's not money as it. Some people want money because of lust. Because with money I buy things, but most people, money it's a means for power and strength. So I have a word I can control, right? You got the idea? Right. So they continue, and Ibn Athir says, he was virtuous, knowledgeable in jurisprudence and fiqh, and held scholars in high esteem. He loved talking with them and sought blessings from people of knowledge. He was actually a companion and a student of Fakhruddin al-Razi. Remember Razi? Lived in the time. He actually accompanied him before he was so he learned from Fakhruddin al-Razi, who lived at the time, right? So they describe for us what looks like a righteous man. What is the problem? Because those are all good traits. How can a person with these good traits end up this way, right? But then Ibn Athir describes what went wrong, which is what we described, right? Which is what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, however, pride, arrogance, because arrogance is deadly. Pride, confidence in his own strength. Ujb, you know the disease of ujb, self-admiration. I am strong. I have 400,000 soldiers. I'm admiring mine. That's deadly. In Islam, that's a serious disease, right? So he says, his self and underestimating his enemies. Remember, a sign of arrogance is what? I'm, and you are nothing. This is what he did with Genghis Khan. Completely underestimating the Mongols, not putting them where, not really appreciating their strength. He looked down onto them. I'm going to come and do to you what I did to your messengers. You'll see. How dare you speak to me like this? Don't you know who I am and who you are? Right? So he says that which is ghurur, delusion. Right? That's a deadly disease. Sometimes, even I would say that some of our young youth have that sometimes, where they think they know everything, and I don't even need education. I'm going to make my own company, and I'm going to be a millionaire. And like, oh man, you don't have even the experience. So that's sometimes overestimating my abilities, right? That's what was going on. And then he says what? He would say, Muhammad will support the religion of Muhammad. Muhammad ibn Khawarizm will support the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He sought to imitate Al-Iskandar al-Akbar, Alexander the Great. He wanted to be as such, right? And then he fought, now this is the thing that we mentioned, the problem. He fought all the rulers and kings of the surrounding cities. And he killed most of them and destroyed their followers till he became the sole and single source of power. So when he was defeated, no one gave him aid. And there was no other leaders left to defend the lands of Islam from the Mongols. You fought everybody. You fought the Seljuks, you fought the Ghuris, you fought the Khilafah, you fought. Nobody's going to support you. You made enemies everywhere. And you destroyed every single capable leader. So when you got defeated, Muslims had no one left. You see what he's saying? That's the problem. The problem is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this, I know we can have a whole topic about that. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ما ذئبان جائعان أرسل في غنم قوم بأفسد لهما من حرص المرء على الجاه والمال دين. 2 hungry wolves let loose a stock of sheep, right? The damage they will cause is horrendous, right? Saying if you imagine 100 sheep and there are 2 hungry wolves there, and you let them loose, what will they do? He said, a man or a person, love of wealth and status and power will destroy the deen of a person no less than 2 hungry wolves let loose among a flock of sheep. And of course, the one thing I said it in a football, I'll say it here again, why wolves? Why not 2 hungry lions? Because lions are more stronger than wolves, right? A wolf has a special characteristic, which is not in the lion. When the lions hunt, how do they hunt? One. Right? They'll pick one sheep and do what? Attack, go for the neck, right? Kill it, and then do what? Eat it. But what about the rest of the sheep? Yeah, it's okay. Wolves don't do that. What do wolves do? The hirs. Nothing is enough. So I get the first sheep. They don't wait they start eating. And then they look, there's another sheep. What do? They leave this, they go for the other one and bite it. Oh, there's a third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. They destroy the entire stock and eat what? Eat what? That disease is what? Nothing is enough. I don't know. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million, 200. When will you stop? This is the disease of hirs. So when we love wealth and status, and there is many hadith about this, how much is enough? The disease is nothing is enough till I am the Alexander, I have everything. That's deadly, because you end up destroying everything. You destroy everyone. Will not suffice. There is no qana', which is the opposite of hirs, right? So according to Ibn Athir, that was the problem. This is a good righteous man, as of himself, between him and Allah. But when it came to this disease, it destroyed his kingdom, if you will. Right? That was the problem with Muhammad ibn Khawarizm. That was the dilemma, right? Good person individually loves Islam, loves ilm, but self-admiration and ujb and arrogance and being harsh and destructive and killing the others was not good. This is not the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? So that was the problem with Muhammad ibn Khawarizm. Now, interestingly enough, and this, I'm not going to go into details, this 20,000 of Genghis Khan, they did something really interesting. Khalas, Muhammad ibn Khawarizm is gone. What do you think they did? They did not return back to Genghis Khan. They decided to take a tour. Meaning what? They started going north into Christian countries. Georgia, for example. So they fought the Georgians, right? And they defeated them. And then they went, the Rus, Russia. And they fought them, and they defeated them. And the Kipchaks, they went all the way to Europe. Right? And they kept defeating everybody, and then they went back around the Caspian Sea, right? Which was really an interesting campaign, but I'm not going to cover it here. What they did was actually kind of shocking. The Mongols, not only now the Muslims and the Christians suffered on their hands, right? Now, while this was going on, right, this thing, what was happening in this area? What was happening with the rest of the Muslim cities, right? So I said Genghis Khan divided his armies, right? He has 4 kids, each one takes an army, goes to a different city. So the next was the following: the city of Balkh and the city of Khawarizm. 2 attacks, right? And I'm going to be a little bit more brief here, because I don't want to indulge into the atrocities too much, right? So what happened here, the interesting thing, the city of Balkh. The city of Balkh, once they heard that Genghis Khan's army is coming, they decided to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. They said, let's not wait for them to come to us. We go out, meet them before they come, and tell them, here is the keys for the city. We want to surrender. You get it? To save their lives. And perhaps if you did that, they will spare us. And they went out, met the army, before you come, said, okay, you don't need to come. Here is the keys, we're ready to surrender. You don't even need to send any message to us. And of course, what did the Mongols do? You can guess. They offered that, absolutely. Deliver the keys of the city, everyone is safe, right? And the city of Balkh opened the gates, and the Mongols go inside the city, and what happens in the city of Balkh? Surprise. They give them peace. Everybody's safe. Why? What's going on here? Any guess? Like, they really offer them, great, you surrender the city, guess what? Great, we're not going to harm a single person.
Everybody will open their cities.
So, but what is the lesson here? You'll see something very conniving happening in the background. Two things. Are you familiar with the concept of intermittent reinforcement? Right? In psychology, you know the concept of reinforcements? If you want to encourage an action, if I want my kid to do something, if he does it, I do what? Reward. If I want him not to do something, you punish him, right? Intermittent reinforcement is one of the most strongest way to enforce, and it's the following. If you do something, I don't reward you. You do it again, I don't reward you. You do it again, I don't reward you. You do it again, then I reward you. They use that in gambling. Gambling is addictive. You know slot machines? So you put the coin, you do this, and what happens? You lose. You put another coin, what happens? You lose. You put a third, you lose. Then you put a fourth, and what happens? You win. What does that do to me? I can win. And I can win despite that I lose. So if I put another coin and I lose, what will happen now? See? Because I keep going. So intermittent reinforcement. A city surrenders, I destroyed it. A city surrenders, I destroyed it. A city surrenders, I leave it alone. So the next city, maybe I'm the one that, you get the idea? So I don't destroy all of them. I pick and choose at random. That type of reinforcement, by the way, with kids, let me just digress here a little bit. So, Baba can have chocolate? No. Baba can have chocolate? No. Baba can have chocolate? No. Baba can have chocolate? Okay, here. What have I done right now? What did I teach him? Keep asking. If I tell you no again, don't give up. You see what I told him? See how that is more powerful than a no. I gave him hope. If I tell you no, you keep at it, because you might get it, right? So this is the type of reinforcement that was. So they gave them great peace, but there was a price to it. What was the price? Price was very interesting. So the city of Balkh surrendered. Good, fine, you're at peace. Now let's head to the other city, a very close city, Maru, the city of Maru. So they head to the city of Maru. Maru has prepared 200,000 soldiers to meet the Mongols. The Mongols now go to the city of Balkh, and what do? There is a price. You surrendered, right? We gave you peace. What's the price of peace? You support us in our endeavor. That's the condition. So now, you, the city of Balkh, we need your army to come with us, because you are going to help us attack who? Maru. And if you don't, the entire city will be exterminated. See what happened? If you were among the people of Maru, I'm going to ask you sincerely, what would you do? We like to think that we do what? Say no. But do you know how difficult it is when you're seeing your mother, your sister, your daughter, and if you say no, they're all going to get killed. You see the idea? And now the fuqaha had to deal with this. If a Muslim under pressure and force is forced to fight, is it haram if he did that or not? But you get the idea? I mean, it's very easy for me to say, of course it's haram, but if he did it under force, is there a room for mercy there? Is there a rukhsa? You get the idea? So now it becomes what? A fiqhi issue that was not there before, right? What do you do in this kind of situation? The fiqhi issue is the following. If I'm a small city, right, and the Mongols came, and the rulers are not defending the city, and I know if I don't surrender, they're going to wipe the entire city. Am I allowed to surrender and serve them? Knowing that the ruler did what? And the soldiers, they're not defending me. So what? How many would say yes, I am?
You need to save your life first.
So I just want to see like what's the average consensus. How many would say yes, it's permissible? Let's say you have a rukhsa. How many say no? You don't surrender, you fight. Right? So you can see the debate, right? So that was a debate at the time between scholars. Right? This is a real issue now. Right? That was happening. But here, what happened? Unfortunately, the Muslims of Balkh were led. And by the way, if you say no, they're going to force you anyway. It's not that you really have a choice. You don't think that you're going to say, I'm not going to fight and I'm going to go home. You'll be taken by force and placed in the front, and if you do not, when they order them to go to, to the walls of the city, the order, go to the wall. If you do not breach the wall, and you come back, you're going to get killed. So you either breach the wall, or you die. It was that simple, right? Anyway, so what happened? A fierce battle happened in front of the walls of the city of Mar. And Ibn al-Athir, and I'm just reading for you what Ibn al-Athir writes. This is a great scholar that lived in the time, because it describes the state of the Muslims. He said, the Muslims were brave, and they were steadfast, and they fought vigorously, and they showed a great amount of courage. However, the Mongols don't know what defeat is. The Mongols are undefeatable. What do you see here? What's the problem in this? It's not that they were defeated, but the scholar himself is saying what? The Mongols are what? Undefeatable. You see what? When you fight a war with that sense, are you ever going to win? And this is the scholar of the time, and I'm not blaming him. The Mongols gave this sense that it's over. Those people, you cannot beat. So he says, yeah, the Muslims did their task, and they were steadfast, they were brave, but it's not their fault. They were facing an enemy that is really undefeatable. That is defeat right there, that's taken, right? So that was the state of the Muslims. So it ends up, this army did not hold well, especially the Khwarezmian soldiers, again, those mercenaries. Once they see what's happening, they got afraid and they just retreated. Right? And again, the city, unfortunately, and again, the attack of the ponies, I'm going to go through it. It ends up that the city of Mar falls to them. And again, the punishment now for the city of Mar was what? Killing everybody. Because you chose to fought, you fought us with 200,000, right? So the city that surrendered, Balkh, this is the way. Before we come to you, you come to us and surrender. You see what the idea is? If you wait till we come to you, you're taking a huge risk. Right? So now the message that got to all of the other cities is what? Go ahead, take the initiative and surrender. Right? And now, and by the way, what happened in the city of Khwarezm, and I'm going to go very briefly. This is the city towards the north. This is the northern city. The city, again, decided surrender, not surrender, a split. Some people left, right? Many soldiers left the city, right? And some people decided to defend the city, which is one of the biggest problems, is when people are split and half us fight, half us, that's by itself a defeat. Right? So that happened in the city of Khwarezm. Among the people that fought, there were some great scholars that fought in the battle themselves, and they died in this city, right? In the city of Khwarezm. But in the city of Khwarezm, the Mongols did something really devious. There was a dam, a water dam basically, and they broke the dam and they flooded the city. So it was a flood. They say the city was erased. Basically, the city was covered by a lake. Right? And it was a complete disaster. And they say this city of Khwarezm is a great city, got completely wiped out from the map. Since that day, it doesn't exist. Eliminated completely, right? Right. Where is hope? What happened next, right? So you can see now all the other cities are starting to surrender. Naisapur, Herat, right? Herat, the ruler, just left with some of his soldiers, and the city surrenders, and the Mongols are just taking over. This is, by the way, 1 year. This is the year 617. 1 year. This is happening in 1 year, which is, Ibn al-Athir says this is unbelievable. Unbelievable that all this is in 1 year, right? Now, the next thing was, and this is an interesting part, Afghanistan. How many people here from Afghanistan, by the way? Alhamdulillah, Bismillah. What's the reputation of Afghani people? You guys know the Afghanis, right? They're not easy people at all, right? So now the Mongols are heading where? Towards Kabul. Right? Now here's the interesting part. In Kabul, one of the children of Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, Jalal ad-Din, his name is Jalal ad-Din. That was the child that, remember the dispute, he should not be the, and it was decided he should not be the follower of Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, so he was kind of in exile, right? The black sheep of the family or something like that, if you will, right? Now there is a power vacuum. Muhammad ibn Khawarizm is gone, all the soldiers are everywhere. Jalal ad-Din rose to the occasion. So he started in Ghazna and Kabul, he started to gather people around him. All the remnants of the, all the soldiers that ran away start making, I'm here, I'm a legitimate ruler, I'm the son of the great Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, and I'm going to defend Islam. Please come to me. Right? So what happens, he raised that kind of flag, that there is someone who's going to try to stand up in Afghanistan to the Mongols. So many people started to join. While this was happening, remember the mother of Muhammad ibn Khawarizm? They had a fight. The Mongols captured her. They captured the family of Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, his wives, his mother, his children. Right? And of course, Genghis Khan was like, now let's humiliate Muhammad ibn Khawarizm. So what? The young boys, if you're old, you'll get killed. If you're young, we'll sell you as slaves. The girls, we'll take them as slave girls. So the princess of, now you're a slave girl, and I'm going to give you to my children. The mother, jail. So he inflicted that kind of, he wanted to humiliate the family. But Jalal ad-Din was still there. Jalal ad-Din was, again, because he was in exile, if you will, in Kabul, he was still there. So he was the only remaining kind of legitimate person, right? So he raised this flag, and he said, what, everybody comes to me. So what happened, he started to gathering the remnants of the army of his father. And some other people came. The ruler of Herat, Malik Shah, took some of his troops and went. A group of people, Turkish people, right? You don't need to remember the names, it's too much. Right? Saifuddin Burak, you don't need to remember that. But one Turkish origin, he said, you know what? You guys are defeated because you are afraid from the Mongols. We are not. We're not afraid from them. Let me fight them. And he came with one very powerful division, very, very powerful troops. And the reason they were powerful, in their heart, they believed, no, we can defeat them. They had this in their heart. They're not undefeatable, and if we meet them in the battlefield, we will stand up, right? So he joined Jalal ad-Din. And as such, now we're looking for round 2. Jalal ad-Din is there with some forces in Kabul. Now, what Genghis Khan did is he thinking that, the cities are surrendering, so he sent a part of his army, 20,000, 30,000, okay, go take Afghanistan. Right? Because now, a part of Genghis Khan army, 20,000 to 30,000, are heading towards Kabul, thinking what? Like all the other cities, it's going to be a piece of cake. But what do you think happened? They faced Jalal ad-Din. And for their surprise, Jalal ad-Din does not wait till they come to Kabul. He takes his army and meet them in the battlefield. Right? You see, it's not that come to me, no, I'm not waiting. On the way to Kabul, Parwan Valley, which is a place in Afghanistan, Jalal ad-Din has like 60,000. And the Mongols between 30 to maybe 50,000. And Jalal ad-Din decides, you know what? We are going to attack them. Right, the Afghanis method. So the Mongols arrive, and again thinking, okay, like we're going to take care of those Khawarizm soldiers, they run, and they start the battle. But to their surprise, Jalal ad-Din orders his troop to attack first. And Jalal ad-Din orders his right wing to go ahead, and they attack, and a big battle happened, right? And then, it seemed that, they were actually very successful because they had actually more numbers, and the Mongols started retreating, but this time they were wise, they did not follow, they didn't fall in the trap, right? They did not fall for that, and they kept fighting, and the day passed, and it looked that Muslims are defeating the Mongols, and they did not fall for that trap, right? So next day what happens? The Muslims wake up to find, my God, reinforcements arrived. This is no longer at 30,000, the numbers are like, what happened? Genghis Khan must have sent his army. Now what? What should we do? And people started saying, what? We didn't sign for this. This is too much. Retreat. Jalal ad-Din announced there is no retreat. Forward, we're going to fight. And he orders all the army go forward, right? Remember, those are soldiers with strategy, unlike regular people, right? And he ordered an organized attack by everyone, putting the Turkish Saifuddin Bughraq in the front, because he's the one with, like, we can do something, right? And a battle happens. Right, so. And an attack happens, and the day passes, and they see that the Muslims start to be successful, right? And they look, the reinforcements are not attacking. What's going on? And the Mongols are being defeated. And you can look at all the reinforcements are in the back, not doing anything. What's going on? Yeah, so who said that? It's not a trap. That was a trick by the Mongols. Those are not reinforcements. You know what they are? Remember, how many ponies does a warrior have? 5, 6. So what they did in the night time, they got the 4 other ponies and put dummies on them. See the psychological? So that's not even soldiers. You get the idea? So next day you wake up, it's like, oh my God, what happened? They're not really soldiers, they're fakes. Right? And the Muslims discovered, oh, those are not really reinforcements. They're nothing but ponies with dummies on them, right? And at that point, like, it was, for the first time, a major defeat for the Mongols, right? And the Muslims followed them, and they started, capturing them. And they started, of course, you can understand, the Muslims are boiling with anger, right? So the battle was a disaster for the Mongols. It was a heavy defeat. And now people are what? Hey, the Mongols are defeated. There is somebody that can defeat the Mongols. You see, so psychological warfare. They can be defeated. They're humans, right? And now what happens is this is a victory. Jalal ad-Din achieves a major victory. But in that victory, there was a problem. 2 things happened, right? The first is more of a spiritual. The second was really deadly. The Khwarezmian soldiers, right? When they captured the Mongols, what did they do? They decided to be as cruel as them. You get the idea? So like, you did this, you killed, so what did they do to them? We're not just going to kill you. So they, according to the reports, would put one Mongol, right, and would get an iron rod and a hammer and put it in his ear. Right? That is what? You did this to us. You did, remember what you did in Bukhara? Remember Samarkand? Remember Maru? They're angry. You deserve it. What's the problem? I don't know if you see it.
If Genghis Khan finds out, he's gonna do even worse to them.
That's indeed what happens when Genghis Khan. This is the counter attack. Is like, but there's a moral problem.
The intention.
They're not our teacher. We claim they're a monster. If fighting a monster, I end up being a monster myself, what have I achieved?
Nothing.
You get it? I lost. The most difficult thing when you fight a monster is that, because this is taqwa. You know taqwa? Taqwa Allah. You can do this, I can't. You can kill children, I can't. You can kill my babies, I can't kill your babies, I can't. Why? Because I'm a Muslim. If I do, what's the difference between me and you? I turn to be you, right? And subhanAllah, wallah, we see modern nations, modern time, people that were oppressed in World War II, put into chambers, and what happened to them happened under Hitler, and they were really suffered. And then when they were given power, what did they end up doing? The same thing. You ended up to be the pharaoh you claimed to fight. What irony! You lost. You claim to be the people of God. The Mongols are not the people of God. They're not saying Muhammad Rasulullah. If they do this, we understand why. It's expected from you to do that because you don't have La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. But when I sink to their standard, I become like them. إِنَّكُمْ إِذًا مِثْلُهُمْ. As the Quran says, you are nothing but more like them. What's the difference now? So That part was actually a dangerous sign that, and again, the soldiers, the Khwarezmian soldiers were known to be cruel. That was their problem. They're good soldiers, but they're mercenaries. They're not, they're not refined by etiquettes and chivalry and, like regular soldiers, mercenaries, and they're in it for war and booty and drinking, they're drinking and doing whatever, right? So that was the first problem. The second problem, the ponies again. What happened? The Muslims now have war booty. And guess what happened? They started fighting over horses, because there's a lot of horses. So who takes the ponies? Who takes that horse? And then they started to differ. And the Turkish group said, we were in the front. And Malik Shah, the other guy, like, no, and they started to argue. And they started to yell. Over what? War booty. And then voices started going up. Then swords got on chest. And they started fighting. And the Muslims are fighting each other over what?
A pony.
For God's sake. But this is also the deal. And I want you to see sometimes what can kill us is exactly that. Right? We fight each other over inheritance. I fight my brother for inheritance. Fight my husband over a house. Happens. Go to family courts and you will see when people get divorced, what happens? What do they do to each other? I'm not speaking about something strange. When a father dies and you are brothers and sisters, what are you doing to each over a house, over a land, over a bank account? We're ready to do that. So that problem happened. And then Saifuddin Bughraq, the Turkish leader, his brother got killed. And he decided to do something. He was so upset. I do all this, and then you fight me. Don't give me the war booty, and you kill my men, and you kill my brother. Wallahi, I'm not going to fight with you again. You do not deserve. So what does he do? You don't deserve my help. I'm leaving. I don't know if you see the problem here. Once he said, I'm leaving, and other troops said, I'm leaving, Jalal ad-Din lost half his army. In the time that when this news of the defeat reaches Genghis Khan, what do you think will happen? You said it, right? Counterattack. You think you won and that's the end of the story? That's the beginning of the story, because you defeated 20,000. Now guess what? Genghis Khan is going to hear the news and he's going to send everybody. So the real battle is to come. Now you have half the forces that, and again, I want us to see the spiritual disease here, which is what? Why am I fighting? Is it for the sake of Allah or the Muslims? Because sometimes the Muslims I'm fighting for, they don't deserve it. You find it like, I contribute charity to a masjid and then it's misused. What do I say? I'm not going to help Muslims again. Ya akhi, I know. They're people. If it was for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do not run away, because some Muslims weren't on par. You get the idea? Sidq is about what? I'm here to defend. It's for La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. The benefit of the Muslims way outweigh the error done by some of the troops. I'm defending the Muslim countries, the Muslim cities. The soldiers are, okay, they're bad soldiers. But who's going to pay the price now? If it's clearly for Allah, a slip by the people I'm serving does not make me stop. When we are in what we're in today, if you stand up and speak up and you lose your job, only to find at the end of the day, the people you are speaking up for decides to make a peace treaty and call it off, and how would you feel? Betrayed. So, betrayed. Next time, I'm not going to speak for you. That's the problem. Were you speaking for Allah's sake, or you were speaking for me? You get the idea? Anybody in a position of power, the worst thing that happens, and please remember this, being let down by our own kind. Being let down by the people you're defending, not by the enemy. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the battle of Uhud, what happened? Think about it. You ran away. You see, you left me in the battlefield. He could have said, why am I doing this? After all what I've done, I'm not. He didn't see that. This is for La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. The Muslims are non-ideal people. If they make mistakes, we don't drop the cause of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We don't stop helping a masjid because the masjid did something that I don't agree with, or the masjid hurt me. It's bigger than me and you. It's La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. But that was a problem. So now half the army left. And Jalaluddin realizes Genghis Khan is coming, 100,000, and I do not have enough troops. What does he decide to do? He says, this is a losing battle, so he starts doing something like what his dad did, which is what I have to retreat. So he starts going south, from Kabul, now leaving Afghanistan, heading towards India, right? And then towards India, and of course, Genghis Khan sent a big army with his kids, go get this Jalaluddin and get rid of him. And Genghis Khan now is coming himself on the head of this army to see that person who defeated 20 or 30,000, right? And Jalaluddin is on the run. He goes to the Indus River. It's a river between Afghanistan and India. And now there is a river there. I'm waiting for the ships. And he sees Genghis Khan forces arrive. And there's the river behind him, and then he had to fight. And they say a fight happened. But Jalaluddin didn't have enough soldiers. Right? And they say it was a horrific fight. Because again, there is nothing, there is no escape. But Genghis Khan and the Mongols were so furious, and they kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and the Muslim army started to get defeated. They got so back to the river that at a certain point, Jalaluddin realized there is no escape. So he turned, using his horse, from a cliff and jumped into the river. Right? And it said, Genghis Khan actually said, the way he fought, he said, this is a good warrior, right? But Jalaluddin started doing what? Running by himself. Few of his soldiers jumped into the river and started swimming. The rest, they got slaughtered. And now Jalaluddin runs, he escapes with very few soldiers inside India. The Ghoris, right? But the problem is his father was doing what to them? See, the relation isn't that great anyway, right? So, but he runs into India. And at that point, it is said that Genghis Khan, after destroying this army, he cannot, the Ghoris is a big thing, so he said, khalas, done, good enough. Now let's move on. What happened next? It ends up, the Mongols, right, in this 1 year, they took, you can see most of Central Asia fell to them, right? All of it, right? There was just a little bit left, in Iran, modern day Iran, towards the east by Iraq, that was left to the Muslims. And now the Mongols, Genghis Khan decides to do what? Let's establish ourselves in what we have. Right? Let's pause here for a little bit. Let's establish we got a big chunk of land, if you will. Right? And they stopped the invasion. They left this part. And they start, as you will see, focusing actually towards the north. Let's go north, right, which is the Europeans. Eastern Europeans, as you'll see. Right.
Ruling India at that time.
The Ghoris. Ghoris are Muslims. It's actually Muslim Sultan, right? The Ghori. G-H-U-R-I.
The Ghoris.
The Ghoris, right? So they're Muslims, but unfortunately, with the Khawarizms, they what? Fights, right? So now the Ghoris, like the Mongols, didn't go there yet, right? They stopped there, right? It's okay. We have Afghanistan. You can see the Ghoris there. And they got this area, and they're there, right? Now, what happened next is very interesting, right? But like before going to this, right? So let's recap. You can see now the Mongols, like you see the size of it. It's increasing, right? It's becoming a world power, big power. Like they're now in China. They went all the way. All the Central Asia cities fell to them, and they decide there is two other directions. We have to continue in China, and the other direction is what? What about Europe? Because there's another direction to go, Poland, Hungary, Russia, Moscow, modern day Russia. This is a whole area. So that's another area at which they started focusing on. So at this point, which is interesting, and by the grace of Allah, when you think about it, this was almost a break for the Muslims. The break meaning what? He didn't keep, he could have went and continued. Iran, then Iraq, let's push. The Muslims had a break. And the focus of the Mongols switched to where, okay, let's deal with the Chinese and let's deal with the Russians. So now the Muslims had what? Okay, There is time. How should we use this time? If you were living in that year, shouldn't we be regrouping because we know that they're coming back, right? So that's the time to do what? Regroup, right? Guess what happened?
Oh, come
Right?
on.
Yeah, oh, come on. It's like it's sad, right? So here's I'm going to try to be brief. There is a lot of conspiracies here. So what happened is the following: there is a small area of Khawarizm left. See that? Small area. Who's the ruler there? Well, Jalal-ad-Din is in India. There is another son of Muhammad ibn Khawarizm, younger, called Ghayath-ad-Din. The names are not important. So he decides, there's power vacuum. So he emerged and he said, what? Let me establish Khawarizm Minor, right? In this leftover area, right? In this region. And he starts what? Establishing the Khawarizm area there. But the Khawarizms and Baghdad were fighting before, right? Remember, the Khawarizm Shah was always fighting the Khalifa. So the Khalifa wasn't very happy that the Khawarizms are back again. So what does he do? He contacts the uncle of Ghayath-ad-Din. His uncle tells him, you know what? I will support you. You should be in power. You see what he's doing? And I'm the Khalifa and I'm going to give you that. He started giving him ideas to do what he wants. He's afraid that Ghayath-ad-Din next action will be what? Attack Baghdad. So he wanted to give him what? Something to busy himself with, right? So he instigated some war between them. And he supported the uncle against his leader. And guess what? The Muslims started fighting in this area. Instead of unifying, now here's family members fighting each other over what? The remnants of Khawarizm. Those are the diseases that destroy an ummah. It's not the Mongols, right? I want you to see this is a problem, right? And you see the Khilafah, what are you thinking? You think the Mongols, they're going to take Khawarizm and leave you alone? You know, where is your head? If anything, isn't that a barrier between Baghdad and the Mongols? Do you see it? If they collapse, they're going to come to you. You should have strength in them, not fight them, right? Or instigate fitna, right? But they ended up fighting. At the end of the day, Ghayath-ad-Din wins and he takes over the region, right? I'm not going to go to the details. At that point, something more interesting happened, right? What is it? The return of an old man. Jalal-ad-Din decides, hey, India is not a good place. I cannot do anything. The war is there. I am a legitimate ruler too. Hey, there is a part of Khawarizm there. So what does he do? He leaves India, right? Grounds with some of his groups, and he goes to Khawarizm, declaring what? I'm the legitimate ruler. You get it? Now the reappearance of Jalal-ad-Din. And I'm the one that fought the Mongols, so I'm the one that's more deserving of this. Two. Now what happens? A war between Jalal-ad-Din and his brother. By the way, I'm speaking about 10 years. 10 years of the Mongols are not doing anything, and the Muslims are doing what? This is what's happening. You see what I'm speaking about? Fighting each other, not preparing. And it ends up, Jalal-ad-Din wins, right? Ghayath-ad-Din runs away. Where does he run? Did you guys notice this black area? Right? He runs into that black hole, black area. What is that black area?
Caspian Mountain.
Assassin.
The assassins. You didn't speak, you remember the assassins? Right, from Salah ad-Din, the assassins are real. And this is an area, the assassins are there, nobody comes to that area because the assassins are very dangerous, right? So everybody leaves it alone. Right? They're small, right? But they assassinate, right? So Ghayath-ad-Din runs, seeks asylum with them, therefore he's safe, and there is an alliance with the assassins, right, who exist at the time. Anyway, now Jalal-ad-Din says, fine, I leave him alone, right? But now it's time for Jalal-ad-Din to do what? Establish his empire. How does he do that? What do you think he did? Same policy like his father. Let's expand. How do you expand? He started attacking everybody, right? He attacks the Georgians, you know, the Christians, one, which is okay, alhamdulillah, good, but he also attacked the Seljuks. And he started attacking the Ayyubiyin, you know, the children of Salah ad-Din, right, in Sham. He started attacking, so the Ayyubiyin are being attacked, the Seljuks are being attacked. And Baghdad, let's go for al-Basra. Let's attack the Khilafah. Again, right? Doing what? Trying to expand. I hope you see the problem, right? Those are your allies. What are you doing? You're not regrouping, you're bringing more enemies. Now Ibn al-Athir says something debatable. We don't know that for sure. But Ibn al-Athir reports that the Khalifa, because of he's weak and he's afraid, he said, فَعَلَ الذَّنْبَ الَّذِي لَا يُخْطَفُ. He committed a crime that is unforgivable. Which is what? When the Khalifa saw that and he saw that Jalal ad-Din is expanding everywhere, he decided to do what? To hold him. Sent to the Mongols, Jalal ad-Din is still here, basically. That is debatable, but some scholars said that actually happened, right? And you can see you cannot be more blind, because you're invoking the Mongols. You think if they take Khawarizm, you're next. What are you thinking? You think they're going to take Khawarizm and tell you, Jazakumullah khair, thank you, we're leaving? Like, what are you thinking? Those people have no... And sometimes we do the same thing. We go for other people to solve our problems. If I have a problem with my brother, do I go get a gangster to solve it? He's not going to take care of my brother, he's going to kill all of us, right? And this is again something to reconsider as well. I'd rather be hurt by my brother than bring a gangster to solve the problem. Please remember that, right? I think you know what I'm speaking about. I don't need to Anyway, now as a result of this, something else happens. The Seljuks, the Ayyubiyin, all of them decides, Jalal ad-Din is, what do? They decide to put a stop to it. So a joint army from Egypt, Sham, Seljuks meet Jalal ad-Din in the battlefield and defeat him. Now the Muslims are fighting, right? Meanwhile, what is happening? Finally, the Mongols come back. And Jalal ad-Din now is not in a good position. He lost his forces fighting Muslims. And everybody is his enemy. You see the problem? So now he's singled out. And now the Mongols are there, and Jalal ad-Din realized. So we wait for the adhan then. Bismillah. Right. So now Jalal ad-Din is left by himself to fight the forces of the Mongols. And I don't need to tell you what happened. I'm not going to go into the details. I think you can expect what happened in that battle. Jalal ad-Din, with very few forces left, everybody's his enemy, the armies arrive, and Jalal ad-Din is defeated. And now you can see what's happening. The Mongols are now taking Iran, expanding. And Jalal ad-Din is now on the run. Forced to do what? He has to run towards the Ayyubi area, the Ayyub Seljuks, right? Again, same thing that's the only thing, right? And he starts running, and the Mongols are now expanding, taking what's left over from Khawarizm, right? Now, as that happens, here is an interesting thing that happens, right? The Mongols were still focused on Russia and Europe. This was just a small expedition, if you will, right? But here's what happened. Jalal ad-Din now is on the run, right? And on the run, and the Mongols are after him, he goes and he finds one of those Seljuks, right? Farmers or something, right? And the man, this farmer, looks at him and says, "Who are you? You know, you look strange. You know, the way you're dressed." And he says, "Yes, أنا ملك الخوارزمية. I'm the king of the Khwarizms." He says, "Oh, the king, the son of, yeah? Oh, no, don't worry, I'll take care of you. You can hide in my house." And he brings him, gets him food, you know, hospitality and everything. And nighttime, Jalaluddin is sleeping, the farmer comes with his axe and kills Jalaluddin. Now what happened? This is the irony of it. Jalaluddin Khwarizmi soldiers, remember I told you what, they're extremely aggressive. Meaning what? The Khwarizmi soldiers, their problem was, even when they fight Muslims, they treat them like non-Muslims. So that man, his brother and his family were killed by the soldiers of Jalaluddin. You see what's happening? I know your soldiers, I lost my brother and his family to them. So he did what to him? Wait till you see. Right? When he's sleeping, he chopped, and he kicked him, then he took his head and he went to his enemy, right? You know, the Seljuks and right? And right? And then, basically, he went to the king and did this, right? And he gave the head of Jalaluddin for one of the opposing forces of Jalaluddin. Now, people came to Al-Ashraf al-Ayyubi, one of the children of Salah ad-Din that was fighting Jalaluddin, and said, "Congratulations, your enemy, Jalaluddin, is gone." And he said something very true. He said the following. He said, "You congratulate me on the death of Jalaluddin. By Allah, this will be a disaster for all of us. The Khwarizmi was the wall," this is an analogy, "between us and Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Now that this wall has been broken, we will face the Mongol flood ourselves." You see the analogy? You know the story of Ya'juj, Ma'juj, and Dhul-Qarnayn, and how there's a dam. He's saying he saw it this way. Those people, hundreds of thousands, that was the barrier. He's my enemy, but him gone, guess who's my neighbor now? Who's next? We're next, right? Now the interesting part, and we will stop after this one, the Khalifa starts to wake up. The Mongols are where? They took Iran, now they're at the doors of Baghdad. And now Baghdad seems to be next. And the Khalifa starts to wake up from, I don't know, his coma, I would call it. I don't know, right? And now he realizes that's very difficult. So he decides what? "Oh, Muslims, I'm the Khalifa. Now we have to defend Baghdad. I need people to volunteer. I need come defend Baghdad." Right? Defend the Khilafah of the Muslims. How many people do you think volunteered? One person volunteered. Right? And one person, one really good person, not by himself, right? That person, I was surprised to know who he was, right? And that person said, "I came with all my forces. If the Khalifa just gives me 10,000 men from his forces, I will face the Mongols in the battlefield, and by the grace of Allah, I will hold them." This is Muzaffar ad-Din Kokburi. Muzaffar ad-Din Kokburi, those who attended Salah ad-Din, who's that man? Muzaffar ad-Din Kokburi is the one married to the sister of Salah ad-Din. He was one of the men of Salah ad-Din that fought in the Battle of Hittin 50 years ago. He's 70 plus. The last of the men of Salah ad-Din surviving. You see what this is the men of Salah ad-Din and Salah ad-Din are gone. This was the kind of, the last breath. He's the one that responded. Reminding everybody of what? An era that was. The days of Salah ad-Din. And Muzaffar ad-Din Kokburi never lost a battle. Ever. Against the Crusaders. And he was known, Muzaffar ad-Din Kokburi was one known for his generosity, known for his character. They said in his lifetime he freed more than 60,000 prisoners from the Franks. He's the one that was, every day he would donate more than 600, 500 dinars every single day. He's the one that initiated the Mawlid al-Nabawi. Remember how that started? He loved the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he decides on the day of the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would slaughter 30,000 chickens, literally, 3,000 cows, and feed the entire town. And from that came al-Mawlid. So he decides to do what? Fight. He gathers his army, advances, waiting for the Khalifa, the Abbasi Khilafah. And here comes the Abbasi Khilafah army that's going to join Muzaffar ad-Din Kobri to fight the Mongols. How many people? 800. The Khilafah army, 800. And Muzaffar ad-Din Kobri said, I can't fight with this. I mean, there is not enough people. So he decides, what, maybe I need to but to the surprise of Muzaffar ad-Din Kobri, the Mongols retreated. The Mongols retreated. They were scared. Because the Khilafah still had what? An awe. And they said this must be a trap. Right? And this is, again, this is Allah at work. With the sincerity of that person, him putting they got scared. They started, it's not time yet, we're not ready. The Muslim Khilafah is big. No, this needs special preparation. Right? So they decided what? To hold their attack and again focus on Europe. The last thing for today, something interesting happened. The Pope in Europe got the news about what? Mongols are defeating the Muslims. Mongols are at the doors of Baghdad. Interesting. The Mongols are what now? An ally against the Muslims. So maybe we can form an alliance between us and them and we put the Muslims in the middle, right? So he sent a message to the Khan, right? Offering what? Alliance. Europe and Mongolia against the Muslims. How do you think that went? He did one mistake. What was the mistake? He didn't know who he's speaking to. Right? So he said, I'm offering an alliance, you convert to Christianity, we form an alliance, and we and you against the Muslims. Like, how did the Mongols respond? What did you say? Alliance? We're equal? The Mongols didn't think this way. We're the kings of the earth. Is this a joke? And alliance for them means what? You're my servant. They don't know equal alliance. We're not equals. The only way I form an alliance with you is what? You come, you submit, you're under me. My friends are those who follow me. That's it. And you are telling me to convert to Christianity? And it went very bad. He responded, the only way we have the sword, you and all the kings of Europe, come submit in front of me. That's how we have a relation, not an alliance. And of course, it's not going to work. So alhamdulillah, the grace of Allah, that faith, right? So what would happen next? Right? As this is going on, unfortunately, right, the Franks are preparing to attack again. It's a good time. The Muslims are being defeated here. It's a good time for a new crusade. And the Muslims now are going to face, you see, there is a force coming all the way from here, and there is going to be attack coming from Europe. What will happen? Right? How will the Muslims evade this? How will a new force in the Muslim world emerge that will eventually put a stop to this? Inshallah, this is what we'll do. Inshallah, learn in the next time. Inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خير.
I don't think it's heavier than I could tolerate. I can have other than
and India. Here and here.
This I think is real.
What about Northern Africa? سؤالين على السريع.
Yeah, I don't think we should have
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
يعني هل هجمات التتار على المسلمين هي نفسها؟
بس اللفظ الصحيح المغول ليس
المغول.
التتار مجموعة من المغول. وكان حتى بيحاربوا جنكيز كان قضى عليه.
استووا اعتدلوا أقيموا صفوفكم عشان the lines and fill the gaps. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لم تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. إن الله يحب الذين يقاتلون في سبيله صفا كأنهم بنيان مرصوص. وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم لم تؤذونني وقد تعلمون أني رسول الله إليكم فلما زاغوا أزاغ الله قلوبهم والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. وإذ قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة ومبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد. فلما جاءهم بالبينات قالوا هذا سحر مبين. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله الكذب وهو يدعى إلى الإسلام والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور. أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور. أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم. قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون. قل هو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. قل إنما العلم عند الله. قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين. فلما رأوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون. قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم. قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين. قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده
light. It's real light.
Mace? Yeah, this one.
All of this is real light.
Yeah, this one is like the most dangerous. So it's like it's very heavy. It's weighted. It's very pointy. So sometimes like little kids tried to hold it, and it was so heavy, and their arms weren't strong enough. So it was like moving like this, and you have to hit the kid next to them. That's why we had. So here, hold on. If you want to try it, I want you to come step over here, hold it with two hands, and make sure it doesn't move or hit you. It's very heavy and sharp.
I can hold it with one hand.
MashaAllah. But so that's what we used to use to break, like if they were gonna hit a metal helmet, or I think the metal helmet was for Crusaders, that one, because that's the only thing that would like do damage to their heads. Be careful, very carefully, inshallah, when you turn around. Okay, step away. Oh, you want to try holding it too? Okay, bismillah.
Let me put it over here and
Yeah,
then tell you.
definitely give it some time.
I want to wear the armor.
And the armor, it weighs, it's very heavy. You want to try to hold this? Okay, I'm going to take this from you so you can focus. Hold it with two hands. Good. Two hands. Oh, you can do one hand? Okay, just make sure this doesn't hit you.
Anyone can do one hand. I go, I was going to a sword casting thing.
Yeah?
And then
And this one's
I
sharp.
saw this sword, but wooden. So I chose different sword because I didn't.
Here, why don't you come step over here, step down if you want to carry it carefully. You don't want to carry it anymore?
I don't.
Uh-oh, my phone is talking to me.
Human achievements and the extremes of the natural world.
Ooh.
Examples of different world records.
This.
Beyond the typical athletic achievements, Guinness World Records recognizes
Oh,
a wide
wow.
array of unique and sometimes
I did that.
Okay.
This is for the training. This is for training.
हाँ अगर इनको बोलोगे अगर हम खुद पकड़े फिर तुम्हें दे
And this is a shield.
आराम से अगर हम पिक्चर लो तो
Oh, wait. Oh man.
और सुमैया को ये पकड़ा दो तुम ये पकड़ो सुमैया को शील्ड पकड़ो सुमैया पकड़नी अंदर है शील्ड
Stop.
तो मारना नहीं बस पिक्चर ले ठीक है
Oh, careful. No, there you go. You want to take this? All right. You want to try that one on? I think so. Let's try. No?
What?
You ready? Okay, that's heavy, okay? It's going to swallow your whole head, though. It's going to cover your eyes. There's no eye holes. It's going to cover your eyes. You can't see. You want to hold it like this? Okay. Are you okay? Okay. I'm afraid it's going to go down more and swallow your head. Got it? Okay, here. Can you do me a favor, brother? Ustad Hassan asked us to watch the swords because they're sharp, just so the kids.
Take it off.
Okay, do you mind watching for safety? I'll tell you. Okay, this mace is like super heavy and it's pointy, so this one he's really worried about the kids touching. So if they do, just tell them to hold it with two hands carefully, because this one they can like knock it on the other person by accident. And this one's sharp. Those are the ones he's worried about the most.
Okay.
But I'll be back. I just need to go find my son.
Okay.
Actually, if we don't.
Okay.
Come here.
Arms.
Come here.
Don't come here. Easy. Careful.
Oh, this one's better.
Hey, put it back inside. Easy. Okay, hold it both hands. No, hold one thing at a time.
I think I can hold this one.
No, this one's very
I can
Hold it with both hands.
I can hold it with one hand.
Both hands. Both hands.
Actually, I won't hold it.
That he wants to pose for
I need to.
Usman, no, it's heavy, okay? Look, down.
Can you put this
Down,
this one?
down.
That on because
See me?
it's for Muslims.
Yeah, okay,
right?
hold it.
Can I wear this? Can you put this on?
I'll do it.
Usman, come here. I was a Muslim and you were a
That's it. It was Elwan.
It's too bad.
Okay, it's very heavy. It does.
I think this one is too heavy.
You want that?
Can I wear this?
I'll give you.
Hey, easy, careful.
Can I? Can I wear this again?
This one is pretty difficult to work with. Wait, छोड़ो इसको जरा. चलो, ये बहुत भारी है, देख. ये तो मैं खड़ी हूँ.
Try and pick this one.
चलो.
Oh, that's heavy because I need to have it forever. I just tried to try it. Oh my goodness, man.
I can pick it up.
Hey, easy.
We gotta get
It's very heavy. Just kind of.
Can I wear the armor?
Give him a turn too.
I want to see this. I want to see.
Your turn. What do you want? Which one do you want? Which one do you want? सुनिए इधर इस तरफ
ये क्या पापा?
अच्छा इधर मैं पहनाता हूँ
New stuff. Wow.
hey hold this one both hands hey with both hands
They have a mace. Baba, try hold this. Hold this. Mace. Here. That's really good. They're really good. But where's the other one?
And they had this. Should I wear that?
see it?
Can I wear that, Baba? No. What? Amazing. What I hate is I hate it so much that I can put your eyes like this. Baba, try to hit me. Try to hit me. I know what I will use to hit to kill you. But that thing is
Not that one. That one's big.
Can I have this one?
So heavy.
No, can I leave it? No,
Oh, this one?
Who wants to do this?
Remember this thing you want to make?
Hey, listen. Stand, wait. Move. Oh. Okay. Stand. Wait, this one. Here. This one. Okay, I'll dig it up.
And then go outside in the soccer field and play some soccer? No. Well, yeah, if you wanted to play soccer. I have a soccer ball.
Let's not do this. We can take this.
Whoa.
You're still looking at it. That's so funny. Like, imagine if we looked in the inside. If we look in the inside, it'll be infinite loop. You know that?
Oh yeah. Like if you were in a mirror, you looked in the mirror, zoomed into your eye, you would see the mirror, you zoomed into the eye in the mirror, and then it would like just keep on going and going. That's really cool. But
oh hey, you're back. Hey. Baba, this thing is so heavy. Baba, this is way heavier than that.
Yeah, can I hold it? Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
That's good, Carla.
I want to hold this before we go.
Come on.
I'm a run.
Okay, come, let's go. No, not with that. Why do you take that out? Let's say we use this. I want to find him. Hey.
Okay.
Come here. Let's go. Let's try to push this out.
Male or female? Yeah. Female? Because I knew that because I'm his friend, guys.
Pagani?
Yeah.
Can she hold the sword for a minute? Huh? Can she hold the sword for a minute?
Arshia?
जोर से नहीं मारना, आराम से। बस आ जाओ, हो गया, बस इसे वापस कर। आ जाओ।
kids
is
will hurt
plastic.
each other with.
This is
So
the
this just, if you want to carry it, just right next to the table, but not to walk around. I'm sorry if I scared you. He's just worried about kids hurting themselves with this one. Because it's so heavy. You know what they used to use this for, this weapon? So you know how the Crusaders wore this helmet? Yeah, they would use it to smash really hard on the top of the helmet.
And then it would like hit.
Yeah.
And then
it would hit, and then this would hit their head, and then they would have like a really bad head injury. Because you can't cut through
Do you
this.
know what's the name of this? You know it. What's it called? Mace. Yes. And you know how hard, bad it was, right? Right? They swing it and
Heavy.
that's it.
And they used to use it. Yes. They used to use it specifically to cause a blow on the top of the helmet.
yeah, man. It's in a game called Minecraft. You like
Worried about
enjoy
this one the most.
I'm leaving flat.
My God.
you called Minecraft. You check in his density.
Yeah.
And when it was 5, when it was, and then if you like jump, and then smash them, and
In
then
Minecraft too, they have it?
yeah,
they
and
have
then you
this,
smash them, and then you jump.
You good?
So no.
Wait. No, this is not for playing outside.
Okay, guys, Baba's
This
waiting
is
for
not
us
for
at the
playing
drive-thru.
outside.
Why?
No, because it's for it's a sharp corner.
Salam alaikum, ma'am. How is life?
Good charge of everything there. No.
Baba is waiting outside.
Someone can
Okay, careful, not to the chest.
can hit someone's eye by accidents, huh?
Okay.
Like this is soft, but don't take anything out because we don't have permission to take anything out.
Why
Yeah.
you like a Crusader's helmet? Why? How dare you like a Crusader's helmet? Do not. Do not.
I really like this sword.
I tried to put my...
Hey, look at your reflection in this.
Okay, boys, the Baba is waiting outside. Make your way out. Bismillah. Okay.
Benny's. You're not a Benny. I don't have a sword. Give me a sword. I had a sword. Get a sword.
So where did you get it?
There's no more. There's two black and four.
I don't have to buy.
Human
That's it, done. Done. Khalas. Khalas, Baba.
Oh, you want that fight?
So I know like if the bones are very overwhelmed and I can accommodate something.
Shield.
The parents that used to be the parents.
We can't do it out.
Okay.
Yeah, we do it outside. We do it
Right.
outside.
Message you and say this is okay.
What's your last name? And what's his name again? Ahmed. Okay, well, I got this. Am I getting all these messages? What is so copy? Yeah, I'm here. Is it working? Okay. How many are you going to send over? Yeah, Mama Papubacha probably. I always do that because sometimes you come across people who have like same name, different people. Yeah. So identity now becomes the children, right? Yeah. I was upset before now. Going through my kids. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So, I don't think it's a bad drive, right? For Corona. Yeah, because Shanila lives in the area. Shanila is from the Tio area, right? Habibi Usmana, can you go grab your shoes, Baba? Where did you leave your shoes? Where did it go? I think it's at the masjid entrance. इसका शूज ला दो ना प्लीज. I don't know where it is. Sorry. To right in the front there. Got it. Front. Okay.
The boys I played with, their brothers, the guy in the green sweater and I got their mom's phone number so we can hang out with them again, inshallah. Does that sound good? They're also homeschooled. So mom was telling me, here, baby, water. You wanna wash your face? You wanna drink?
I just got hit all over, but I feel like a heavy infantry. Like I got hit here, I got hit here, I got hit here.
What's heavy infantry mean?
Heavy infantry are like
Here,
well-armed people. Like
okay.
these knights,
Like you could take
like people with loads and loads and layers of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Ustad Hassan might need help packing the stuff, taking it to his car. Why don't we put the chain links?
a bunch of stuff. I said these are
And then we should go, Habibi. And you just check if he needs help, and then we should go. Come back.
if I'm allowed to wear it. I don't want to just touch this stuff.
Oh, this thing is heavy.
It is?
Or try hitting it. Yeah.
No, I gotta get the.
No wonder real experience.
Yeah.
But this is a replica.
Oh, it is. Oh, I can wear it? Oh. I don't know if it fits on my head. Let's try it. This is actually not that heavy. I thought it was. Oh, is that a tater?
I look at
You know what?
It has to be, bro.
Oh, this is nice.
Stainless. It is stainless steel.
Yeah, but bro, you think
It might not be taste.
this is probably replica.
Pull out the sword, brother.
Yeah, let me stay back here.
Are you giving it all you got?
I don't know whose sword that is, bro. Which
Give it all you got.
This is the.
Offense, defense. First do defense and then do offense.
I'll have the sword.
Easier with
The man seems kind of short for.
Yeah.
you can use your let. Oh, it's
It's
weird.
smaller thing. I think that is more decent. Like,
Oh no, I got my shit, brother.
yeah.
This is more like a smaller style.
Here, I'll give you a shield.
Oh no, it's.
Oh my goodness. I think those are gonna fit.
I'll save it. Hey, come on, guys.
Would it be very careful with that place? Because it's heavy and sharp. The one that's
Yeah, you want to get the sword?
Hey, none of the reason.
Get the sword.
Take
The
this
Islamic
one.
one? Or, oh no, get. Bro, this
Oh yeah, wait, that's the Crusader.
Yeah, that's the Christian one.
Oh,
So you
no,
gotta get the
for a while.
Christian one. He already for the Mongol expansion.
Bro, you're fighting the side of the crusade. Hey! Listen. It's a Pokemon, bro.
He wants to fight. Can you see? No, I'm actually trying to.
This was not a good idea to bring us here.
Who else wants to try this one?
No, bro. How did they do this? Never tried.
That's why they were always sweating. That's the Mongols, right?
Looks like.
Well, no,
You got a
oh my god, this thing's heavy. It goes in from the back.
Yeah, no, he's here.
I think he's in the back.
Watch out for that.
Yeah, that's kind of sharp. He uses them all the time. Dude, I think this was the Muslim sword. What are you talking about?
That's the one.
Who gave me that one?
That's for you,
bro.
because you
You
were
held
wearing
that.
That's the Mongolian sword.
This was the Mongolian one? Oh.
Probably.
I think the Muslim one's like curved.
Yeah, that looks like a Muslim style.
That looks like the Mongolian.
There's a German long sword too that he doesn't have
You might
here,
have
but it's very
to
long and
open
heavy.
Oh, really?
You have to hold it with like two hands.
Yeah, this seemed like a little smaller.
There was a big one, but he doesn't have it on.
Yeah, that's the one.
That looks like a Mongol thing.
Hey, take it to the helmet.
Bro, it matches my hair.
Hey, what?
This is small, right?
Did your head get a bit? Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
you
not
got
4chan.
it. You got it, bro.
Mace versus sword.
No, it's not a competition.
I'll take it.
Mace versus the helmet.
Okay, that word.
Sword versus
Sword. So this guy. No, we're reversed. Not me.
He's in a meeting, but he has people that can help him.
Oh,
Great,
okay.
great,
So
okay.
we're good to go.
You guys are good. Sorry.
No worries. It's fun to play.
No worries, we got to play with the sword.
see the real
Oh, okay.
It looks always.
You guys should attend the Sunday classes. It's going to be another
Inshallah.
4 classes series. Careful.
Oh, really?
My face. Yeah.
Same series or this
Same
one?
series. 6 classes. On the
Oh.
Mongols. And if you go to Rahma Center, he's continuing the end of that history series.
Really?
So this Thursday is going to be the lesson about Ibn Taymiyyah, Sheikh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, and how he confronted the rulers of the time and stuff. Because the time, you know how there's like a timeline of scholars that he
Yeah.
discusses, and he tells you like what scholars were developed in what time frame and what was going on, what issues they had to speak against. It's very very deep. But catch the recordings on YouTube. They're so good.
Yeah, we're committed to the 6 series here, bro.
It's really good. But the Thursday one Rahma Center is it's like 2 classes after the ending of this.
What time is that?
Between Maghrib and Isha.
Oh.
Thursday.
Thursday Rahma Center.
Thursday.
This Thursday. Okay, I'm still on the. Oh yeah, I got it.
How do you fight with this?
Oh no, you gotta. You have to have good shoulder muscle.
He's in one. He's in a meeting right now.
Really? Doing it like that for a long time,
No,
bro.
it's the wrist.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's mostly
Bro,
the
imagine
wrist.
this on the wrist, bro. This can dislocate your wrist if you don't.
The chainmails, imagine this. I'm walking with this.
Yeah. When
Man, that's light compared to the plate armor.
Broke 9 swords in one battle.
Dude, that's.
Bro, now just like the swords failed him. He didn't fail the swords.
Your turn. So how would you hold a shield like this?
How was this thing?
Probably the thing is like
Oh, like this, huh?
Oh, the long sword. Those are probably it. Yeah, you strap it in.
Yeah.
And then you can have this.
Oh, now you look like that.
Over here.
You guys should try out the chain
No,
links.
no, I'm unarmed.
So those are like several pounds. They're very heavy. The chain links, there's like a head portion and a
Oh,
body
this
portion.
thing. Yeah.
So they would put that
Oh,
under their armor.
you need the Christian helmet. You'll need the
Imagine
Christian
finding the
helmet.
desert.
We use chain links to intimidate, bro.
What
kind of chicken?
Got chicken.
To protect their hands.
You were doing this?
I think he needs it. Look at
Take it. Take it.
Watch out.
Careful with this. I got you.
You put it.
It's kind of tough.
It's taller. Okay, you look like a knight. Okay, now you need the Mongol armor.
You gotta get a pose against
The war news is kind of late.
Bro, you look like a sad knight.
Wait, let me,
I look like a knight that's late for work.
Hold on. You can unsheathe the sword. Yeah, now it's a sword.
Oh, you want shield?
have it on top of the shield like this. Have it
I think I like the shield ones better.
It's coordinated with the
facing the foot.
No, the sword's better, but the head thing just makes me look.
Oh,
Sword
It's just,
flat
I
on
don't
top of the
know.
shield.
I like speed.
But like, you're in defense. Yeah, like that.
but
Basically.
they're not as strong.
Not as
They'll break.
Feel like wearing chainmail and all that.
The thing is, that's the thing.
Give
You
him the
don't
sheet,
want
please. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you are. I got you.
much, right? So it highly depends on.
Yeah, the say salam alaikum to everybody. Let's go.
Yeah.
They're facing against full-on armor
Salam
knights.
alaikum. Salam alaikum, guys.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, and also where you're at. The
Bro,
condition.
imagine fighting this in the desert.
Yeah, exactly. No, it'll heat up, bro.
Oh man. Just a bad. Oh man.
Bro, it's so heavy.
Yeah.
This is like this.
Look at this pattern.
I think it's probably like the one-handed version.
Oh yeah, the second one was with what's his name? No, the oh, it's a big one. Alright, let's go. Otherwise, we're not leaving. This is the worst thing you could do to guys. Just don't.
I came like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, damn.
There's no tea for me. I'll get it.
You said there's what?
Tea.
Some tea?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you want.
I like, yeah.
But what was
I
it?
like a drink, so.
Huh?
I like a drink before I go.
Oh.
Well, I'll drink, don't worry.
Oh my god. But no, dude.
What?
Do you know what I was telling Dasha today? I was like, I really like it today, like when you pulled it up yesterday. I was like, he's a real one.
What?
I was like, you're a real one. He was like,
I felt bad, bro.
Why?
Because you guys called and I didn't come.
I mean, it's happening every Saturday, so if anything.
Nice.
It's just because
I
like
said-
last. It's just because yesterday.
And I said that I was gonna come, so.
Oh yeah.
I didn't show.
I don't know. But yesterday, apparently you came right, like. Yeah, that was kind of like yesterday, right before you come by like 10-15 minutes. I had, you know the guy that I was sitting with?
The guy from
Who
Dubai.
you came? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was with me since I was in grade 5.
Now I heard Muhammad was kind of like introduced us. That's Islam. Yeah. What's his name? Hamid?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he already left.
He's like so he looks so innocent, bro.
It's so innocent, dude. If you saw him.
He has a nice smile on his face.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Yeah.
But are you coming next Thursday?
Inshallah.
You better. Mohammed's game is at 9:45 p.m.
Oh yeah, then. I know.
So you're sure?
I got the whole schedule down, so.
Wait, how?
I have it.
I mean, I know how you can get the schedule. Like,
Come on. How else would I get the schedule?
is it from Mohammed or is it from Instagram?
Aisha, Muhammad, Raj.
Okay.
Raj, Karam, everyone. Were you here? Oh yeah, you just got here, no?
Yeah.
I just got here too. What's that?
I'm so not ready for tomorrow.
I'm not ready. Mondays.
What?
Mondays.
Yep. You know what's funny?
What?
That I don't have class on Monday because I still go on campus.
No, that wasn't funny though.
Sorry. That's sad. That's sad. Why not?
What?
Okay, come on.
I'm
You
mad.
don't have to call. You don't have to call me like that. You don't have place. Oh my god.
You know what's funny, but it wasn't funny though. Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
That I don't have class on Monday, but I still go to campus.
Mondays and Wednesdays for me are like the worst 2 days.
Oh yeah. For me, it's Tuesday, Thursdays.
Yeah.
Actually, Thursday, I don't mind it. It's just Tuesday. Tuesday, because the professor that I have at night is.
Aisha's here too?
Hmm?
Aisha's here too?
No. Oh, yeah, I forgot Aisha. She told me today earlier in the morning for me to come for Aisha to check the.
What better not doing it, huh?
Huh?
What better not doing it?
Well, you weren't doing it, so you were going to make me do all the work. Aisha told me to like the table cloth that's in the garage.
Oh, you want to pick it up right now?
I don't know, she just told me to check it. And then I was like, huh? She was like, place it up.
If you want to pick it up, go ahead. Yeah, I thought that should be.
Huh?
She did it for me.
Four?
Was that?
Four?
4 more, yeah.
Four what?
Don't worry about it. Big people talking.
Oh yeah, how much game go?
It was good.
They win or lose?
They lost, but it was a really good game.
Score?
4-2. For
For
the
what?
last, they made the twist by like the last 5 minutes. So you know, you know what's the worst thing? Photo was the one who made the team. They lost.
I
They
didn't know
lost
if I was
3 chances. Like they had 3 chances to score a goal, and Photo lost it out just because of that. That's why I was so pissed from him yesterday.
Trust me, he also feels that way. But I love soccer in general.
You know, I was like,
Lisa hates him. No. Before you worked there, bro.
Hate's a strong word, but.
No. She convinced her kids to hate her.
no way.
Why?
No way.
Yeah.
Hate someone.
Like all her kids don't like him now. Hate okay. Maybe hate's a strong word, but she really hates and does not like him. Like, cause you wanna know why? Well, to the show.
I got it.
You know Issa and Zaid, and like their little brother Ali.
You gotta tell me the last name. There's so many Isas I know. There's so many Zays.
That have a little brother named Ali.
Was that?
That have a little brother named Ali.
Yeah.
Dr. Amar's brothers, kids.
Those 2 kids.
Yeah. So basically,
No, it's fine. You can.
Okay. You should just get the other rack, Q.
Yeah. Hold on, let me bring it here.
What's it called? So basically, you know how you're not allowed to do like other work while you're working, right?
What's that?
Meaning you can't do another job while you're on the job, right?
Yeah.
So you know what this guy does? He teaches the kids how to play proper soccer on the job. So he used to do coaching lessons for them while on the job. So meaning when he would make, you know what's so true? He didn't want us to do it. And I was so gullible, I just said yeah.
I mean, you are. You
Huh?
still are.
Thanks, but I still hate the guy because he used to go play soccer with other kids while he was giving me the list and he was getting paid for the work I was doing and he was playing soccer.
Don't think remember you're in a message.
What?
In a message, bad writing's normal. Shouldn't talk bad about someone.
There's a very specific someone that worked here just before you.
That's fine.
That was not for
We're
us.
Muslims, we don't backbite.
Oh wait, I got nominated for the ice bucket thing. You want to get nominated?
Even if you did nominate me, I'm not doing that.
What?
I was like, oh, that place. Dude, this was like.
High school kids, bro.
I know, right?
Before they were born, I used to do that. Before you were still learning how to walk, we should do that.
I'm not even
This
that
is all
young.
wild.
You
back
are
then.
that young.
You're 20, right? You're 20 or 22? 22, okay.
I'm the oldest one.
Who's what? 21, right?
What's up?
You're 21, right?
Technically 22, but yeah,
When's
21.
your birthday?
May.
Huh?
In May.
May what?
Nothing.
May
Say
what?
it, say it.
May what? Okay, wait, what's May? May what?
Don't worry about it.
May what?
I can know when it's.
Oh my god, check my Snapchat, I guess.
No.
Oh,
Well, if you want, I can do that.
Yeah.
It was another.
You know what, I'm gonna take my birthday on Snapchat.
Wait, where's my freaking phone? Where's my phone? Wait, where's my
I don't
phone?
celebrate birthdays.
Huh?
I don't celebrate birthdays.
Well, I know. I'm not gonna celebrate your birthday. I'm just gonna know when it's your birthday. There's a big difference.
May 22nd. Wait, you have the same birthday as No, you don't. No, I thought it was. I thought you don't.
Because some people lie about their birthday on Snapchat.
No, but because they're too young for it. I always say I'm from October 15, 2000. My actual birthday is
You gotta
2009.
look like someone from October 2000, huh?
Huh?
You gotta look like October.
I am October. I'm October 14.
What's that?
I am October 14. I'm just 2009, not 2000.
You don't look like 2000.
2009.
2009? Oh.
Bro, if I was 2000, I'd be older than you.
Same.
Who's that saying?
Wait, what'd you say?
You were saying you don't look like a 2000 person. I was like, no wonder. I'm 15.
I thought you said, oh yeah, I tell other people I was born on October 15, 2000.
No, on Snapchat. Because I have to make my account while I was too young. Because I made it for like one very specific cousin. They didn't have a SIM. I really like type.
Yeah.
So when I made it, they're saying you have to be over 18. So I just did my birthday, but
Oh, back then, yeah.
yeah.
MashaAllah. There's plenty of space back.
Right.
Where'd you do that?
Push.
Good. You won, me one. Take this one. Now take this one. I got that.
Need help?
Try pushing this.
Can you? Oh, I want to turn my.
Yeah, this one, one of the wheels doesn't turn.
Which one? This one?
I'm kind of stuck, so you
No
know.
wonder you gave it to me.
Where you at? Try pushing that. Try pushing that.
Oh, push it or pull it?
Push it. Pulling is hard. Come here.
Why are you pushing?
No, from
forward?
here. Push it from
What?
here. We gotta put it in there.
Well then, wait.
Good.
What?
Be my guest.
Why are you doing it like that?
Oh. Let's go.
30 years later.
What?
Let's go push.
I can't push when you're looking at me.
Okay, fine. I'm not looking.
And neither you look at me. Oh God.
Mashallah.
Oh God, I
Mashallah.
Do it.
Not even budging is crazy.
Allah.
Allah.
Wow, you didn't even budge it. It's not even moving. Okay, let's do it. What are you doing? Yeah, turn.
محمد ساعدهم.
Oh, alright, turn.
Salam alaikum.
You got my dad yet or not?
I don't know where he is.
He's outside here.
How are you?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, think how long I've been here. Okay, wait, I'll help you here. I'll just guide it.
Just like line it up.
Go. I can't pull because I don't have the.
It's not gonna hit the.
No, it's not. No.
Sure.
You got me.
Not that.
Stupid.
Sure, go do it. Was there a push?
Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
Get out. Get out. Do you know how to do these or no? Q.
What?
Do you know how these work or no? I'm gonna teach you.
What are all these laptops?
That we're gonna leave because it's Hassan Elwan.
Now I know how to do them, but where do those go? Like,
Avier, can you do that one?
you wanna do the trash? I'll do this, or you wanna do?
I'll do this.
Okay. Trash.
Wait, so when it comes on Wednesday, can you give me on Wednesday because I'm traveling on Thursday, and I wanna be doing the.
Wait, when's Wednesday? Ooh, it said 22 to 26. So I don't.
26.
It might be. Or did after? Like Sunday. Between that, it can come anytime. It didn't say like it's coming on Wednesday.
I just
That's
hope
the
the
thing
watch.
about
I
TikTok
hope the
sounds.
watch and the bracelet come through. Honestly, all like care about at this moment. Guys. You know, you pissed me off too long.
What? What are you saying, buddy?
Far too long. You pissed me off. And now, you shall pay.
What's being season and edit?
Oh wow, this is actually oh, it's not sure.
It's actually a
Sword,
shark.
yeah. They just like really build it though.
Wait, let me chop your head off real quick.
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna chop my head off, at least use one of those really sharp ones.
What's that?
If you're gonna chop my head off, at least use one of those really sharp ones.
Yeah.
Don't make me go through pain.
Badass.
Wow. 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 For that, fight to the end.
Give me a sword, let's fight. You have
Seriously?
another one?
Seriously?
You have another one?
Yeah. There's also shields.
Oh.
There's also helmets. Okay. You serious?
What?
You serious?
Kidding, bro. Keep that shit back there.
To think that you actually brought my hoops up, that's crazy.
Why would I fight you for
$5.
what?
$5
For what?
to fight me.
Well, if I'm gonna kill you, how am I gonna get my $5?
You're not gonna kill me.
Yes, I can. Trust me.
You won't. You wish you could.
I'll go, bro.
Sure.
I don't even gotta die, man.
Just keep dreaming.
The only thing.
You know they used to use this as maces back then?
You there for the event?
Not really. I was helping with burgers. With like a nuncle and Amber.
Working what?
I was helping burgers with a nuncle and Amber.
Ooh.
What's ooh?
Wait, I'm not gonna go with who?
Amber. What?
Just saying. Shut up.
I.
What?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're funny. Very funny. You know you're a comedian. You know that?
Why?
Just so that's stupid joke. Why are you funny? Maybe for you, not for
For
me.
me it is, yeah. I find happiness in small things. Feel that?
Yeah, like how making fun of someone who
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even do anything wrong. I just went snowboarding with her and a couple of friends, and you outside you made such a big deal out of it.
How did I make it a big deal? I didn't go and announce it. The only person who made a big deal out of it was you. Oh my god, you got an iPhone. Oh my god, oh my god, Jalal. He's got an iPhone. Jalal, please.
How is it? Is the change weird or is it nice?
It's nice, but I mean, it's normal.
What do you mean it's normal? Obviously, people who experience the change from like the poor lifestyle to the rich lifestyle
Just
is
like any
different.
other phone, buddy.
Body.
I think, trust me, once you're my age, nothing's gonna matter, bro. It's just like,
Yeah, is that a
what's
sign
in
of
front of
depression
you,
I see?
not with you.
Is that a sign of depression I see?
Not depression. Depression is not real, you know that, right?
I know.
Yeah. It's all in your head.
So how about anxiety? Do you believe in that?
It's not anxiety. I'm not anxious right now.
No, but do you believe in the anxiety thing or no?
Oh yeah, you get anxious at times, yeah. Definitely.
But do you believe in the anxiety attacks?
Anxiety attacks, I don't know. Again, that's all in your head.
You know something I never realized?
Your head makes you do that, you feel me?
I might be dyslexic.
I mean, you are kind of, yeah.
No, but like.
Dyslexic, everything.
No, so I have a bad case
You
of.
have nothing, never mind.
Huh?
Nothing.
What? Man, say it to my face.
I want to catch a case, bro.
Case what?
Nothing.
Of?
Nothing.
Just tell me.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, come here. But what's it called? I never knew because Omer was telling me you might be dyslexic. I was like,
Who?
Omer, drop me.
He's dyslexic?
He's dyslexic, and he said I might be dyslexic too.
He told you that?
Huh?
He told you that?
He said I might be because of the way it's spelled. Are barada.
Darul Judge?
Huh?
Darul Judge?
No, what?
Was there?
Yeah, he told me that.
The shenanigans today.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Really?
Are barada. Are barada. Shall we pull it real quick?
That's crazy, bro.
Huh. What? 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 Yeah.
Like two different people.
Completely. All the calmness went to him, and all the like the dourness went to Dar. You're right. It's like two different people.
I know, right? It's like crazy to just like that.
How are you, brother?
Assalamu alaikum. I just text some pass, so I'll give you a look. Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, man? Oh, good.
Habibi, you're not done yet?
Oh, no, I was just like cleaning
By the way,
yeah.
what happens to this stuff? Do you guys keep it here? You can take it ready.
You want to take it home?
No, I
They
mean
got
like,
audio room.
Ustad Hassan Elwan doesn't take him. He does. Take
No.
him with. What are you talking about? The metal?
Ustad Hassan Elwan takes his,
Take that
yeah,
out.
takes
You're not gangster,
takes
bro. Take it
these
out. Take it out.
takes his stuff with him every week or not?
Mhm.
Then why?
I think they might pick it up tomorrow or something.
No, we're taking it today.
Where?
He's still
Right
in a
now?
meeting. They're still here, yeah. Oh, my dad's there. How do you think I'm here?
That's why.
I know your dad's
When
here,
the-
but
that's why.
I don't know.
That's why when the sisters wanted to leave, I asked them if he was here. They did not know that you were here. They said Tawfiq is waiting for his dad. That's why like we were so confident with the timing.
Yeah.
But wow, 11 p.m. meeting. Yallah man, yallah, accept from them. طيب, I'm gonna head out place. I'll see you tomorrow inshallah. Hopefully.
I'll give you another hug.
By the way,
Or a high.
the Lakers played yesterday.
Oh, they lost. The Lakers not my team. My team won.
I know.
They
Golden
lost.
State.
They lost. They lost the first game. So it's like.
Yeah, I know, right?
the
Even I don't know
series of,
basketball.
like-
Yeah, I know Golden State sucks.
Right?
Yeah. Lakers, right? Lakers?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Bro,
Kobe all the way.
I can't argue with people who don't know nothing.
Yeah, I
about
don't know
football.
anything. I just do Kobe all the way.
Are they in the playoffs?
Yeah. Both the teams are in the playoffs, but they're playing separate teams. So there's like 3 rounds. Yeah.
They made it?
Yeah.
I'm shocked because
Oh.
I'm like, nah.
Yeah. No, but they like half into the season
it-
they start like winning
Is it
every game.
Is it the quarterfinals?
Oh yeah.
The final of the
Semi
West.
finals of the West, finals of the East, and then there's like the winner of both plays the NBA finals. Yeah.
So
So it's the first round going on right now.
Lakers lost.
Like no. So there's a series of 7 games.
Yes.
So you gotta win 4.
Yes.
So Lakers lost the first game, so they can still come back.
Yeah.
But they lost the first game.
I guess so.
Minnesota. Timberwolves. Yeah.
They always like.
No, they're good.
They're very good.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about?
Warriors won today.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Against Houston. Yeah.
Rockets?
Rockets is
Tough
good.
game, huh?
Yeah. It was a close game, but Curry, bro.
1-0.
1-0. Yeah.
1-0.
They took the lead. Yeah.
It was in Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Wow, that's a good
So
start.
the higher seed, like the higher position, like Houston finished second. So they get the first 2 games at home, and then there's Warriors the second 2 games at
because
their
if
home,
you
yeah.
like if the Warriors win the second
Yeah,
game,
they might be a little
close.
so yeah.
It's almost it's
because like home team always has the upper hand. So
Plus,
it's always good.
1-0 in Houston is
Yeah.
good. The Lakers played in Minnesota.
Minnesota. No, they played at home. They played in LA.
That means that the Lakers were very good.
Yeah, they were the higher seed. They were 3rd seed. Yeah.
Home and they lost.
Yeah. It was in LA. Yeah.
They suck, bro. I sadly.
It wasn't like a close game too. It was like a blowout, like
Oh
by
my
20,
God.
30 points. You know.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! I sadly.
Nah. I have another cousin who likes Lakers. I was like, after the loss, I was just like texting him. Oh yeah, this sucks.
Block. He blocked
He
me.
hasn't replied yet.
I don't blame him. Habibi.
Alright, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Drive safe, bro.
Inshallah.
Sure. Laviq.
Cue. Cue.